Hello, well, we're back at the Southridge Animal Centre again this week, and with me the man you met last week, manager of the centre, David Barnes. David, it's a large centre, this. Approximately how many unwanted animals arrive each year?
We take in about 2,500 different animals each year.
It's a fair few.
It's quite a few, yeah.
Are many of them here because of cruelty to them?
Yes, there's a fair number coming due to cruelty. People who ill-treat them or abandon them or just don't feed them properly.
And you put them right?
We try to do as many as we can, yes.
If a child was to see an injured or lame animal, what should they do?
First thing to do is try and get some form of treatment for the animal. You can do this either by contacting your local RSPCA animal centre, such as this, a local RSPCA inspector or a local veterinary surgeon.
David, last week we saw dogs, we saw cats. Have you any more unusual animals apart from dogs and cats?
Yes, we've had some snakes come in rather an unusual way, which we'll talk about later. We've got some poultry, we've got some birds, and we've also got some goats.
What's his name?
Well, the girls have christened him Godfrey.
Is he suitable as a pet?
Yes, he would make a pet. We've in fact had him castrated, which helps to quiet them down a little bit and does stop the smell which does
How would you look after
male goats. Obviously, anyone contemplating keeping a goat needs at least a quarter of an acre of ground to keep them in. And with goats, they don't like wet weather, so obviously some form of shelter is very necessary.
Now, I know you've got a baby one. He's not related to Godfrey, is he?
He's not related to Godfrey, no.
But he's still being fed by a bottle.
Yes, in fact, we'll get you to give him a bottle now.
Shall we go have a look at him?
Yes, we'll have a look.
David, he's marvellous. What's his name?
This one's called Fritz.
Certainly likes his milk, doesn't he?
He does like his milk, yeah.
How long is he going to be fed on milk like this?
He's virtually coming to the end of his bottle feeds now, and he'll be weaned off probably within the next week or two, completely.
Now, how old is he?
He's only about 9 weeks old, 8 to 9 weeks old.
Shall we bring him round so we can see the full size of him? Come on. Now, is he a suitable pet then?
Yes, if anybody
just give him his bottle.
Is interested in having a goat, this is the age to get them. Obviously with a billy goat, which is what this one is, it's a good idea to have them castrated. A, they make a nice quiet pet, and B, this stops the smell.
Are they affectionate when you don't have food as well?
Oh yes, most goats will get very, very friendly and follow you around all over the place.
And don't they produce milk?
Nannies, but only when they've been mated.
Yeah. Dave, you've also got a few more ducks as well roaming around the place.
Yeah, we've got some khaki Campbells and a Pekin duck. These just came in as unwanted pets, and as you can see, they're roaming around free here.
Are you going to find homes for them, or...?
No, they're going to stay here. As you see, we've built a little pond for them, and they just live around here.
And what's the big one over there?
That's a Canada goose. Now, that one came in, it hit a telegraph wires and broke its wing, and the vet amputated one of the wings. He just lives around. He came with the other ducks, and he pals up and just wanders.
Is it any worse for wear?
No, he's quite happy, because it's very similar to pinning the wings, where they pin them, although obviously it's been pinned a lot further back than normal.
And the hens came in quite a bad state as well, didn't they?
Yeah, the hens are all ex-battery hens, and what happens when they're finished using them for egg
and
production...
And what exactly is a battery hen?
A battery hen is a chicken that's kept in battery cages, cage system, three or four to a cage or even more, just for producing eggs. And once their lifespan is finished for egg producing, which in a battery is about 18 months to 2 years, they're then disposed of. And these apparently fell off a lorry. The cages, and they were brought in virtually bald.
So you let them run freely?
That's it. As you can see, now that they're free range and they're living here, eating the grass and things, they do very, very well.
And producing eggs?
They're all producing eggs, yes.
And the gorgeous kestrel as well.
Yep, the kestrel, he's came in with a damaged wing, and he's eventually got himself right, and hopefully will be rehacked back in September.
And this minor bird that you said speaks Indian?
Yeah, he came in about 2 months ago. He came from India on a flight into Heathrow, and when they opened up the hold, they found a minor bird in the hold. We've been told that he speaks Indian.
Have you heard him?
But he hasn't spoken to us as yet.
Dave, he's a smashing fellow.
Yes, this is a tawny owl. which actually came into us when he was about 2 to 3 weeks old.
Is he biting you?
No, this is his friendly chuckle, actually. He's being friendly.
I hate to see him when he's angry.
But he came in, he was found, just in the field on a golf course. And,
I think he thinks we're mice. He's after us.
And once he came in, we've reared him, and he'll eventually be found a new home.
What's going to happen? Oh, I see. You're going to let him go in the wild again, then?
Yes, it's a process known as hacking back, and this will be done probably in September, and it takes about 2 to 3 months to complete.
Dave, these are a couple of unusual inmates.
Yes, this is a python. As yet, we're awaiting positive identification, but they came from Papua New Guinea.
See, I'm keeping my distance. What, are they taking some looking after?
Yes, obviously they need to be kept in heated accommodation, and feeding probably will be a bit of a problem because they need to be fed on mice and things like this.
Oh, really? What's going to happen to them then, eventually?
Hopefully a home will be found for these fairly soon, probably through the London Zoological Society.
It's giving me funny looks. There's a nice, interesting story of where they came from.
Yeah.
Do you want to put him back in the
We'll put him back in
tank?
here.
Fish tank without water. Is he crushing your arm?
He's all right. Yeah.
I don't think he wants to go back, does he? That's it. Is he all right there?
We'll just put his lid back on.
He's trying to get out again already. He was brute force to put him back.
Yeah, he came initially from Papua New Guinea, and this is how they travelled over from New Guinea.
Really? Now, of course, they're not supposed to be sent like this, are they?
No, certainly not, and this is why this one was stopped. In actual fact, it went to the London Postal Sorting Office, and as you can see, this is how he was packed. Alive animals do not throw.
And when was this noticed then? When was the alive animals do not
when
throw?
When it arrived in the sorting office, so it had come all the way from New Guinea, arrived there en route to West Germany, and it was picked up there by the postman and sent along to the RSPCA.
The ones that are alive now, are they in good health?
Yes, they're pretty good. We've had one which had to be destroyed on arrival, which the veterinary surgeons destroyed because of the state it was in. But as well as this python, we've got a couple of smaller varieties over here with not quite as big as the other one.
Is that the same as that?
We think it's probably not exactly the same type, but again another python. This is obviously a bit of a younger one.
The markings are not quite as striking as well, are they?
At the moment, no.
Is he a baby?
Well, I should think not quite a baby, but he's not an older one.
Well, after that, David and I went along to meet the vet. Right, David, who have we brought with us today?
We've got two mongrels, Sally and Pepper.
Which is which?
This is Sally, this is Pepper.
Right. What, we're going to take them in, are we?
Yeah, these are going into the hospital for spaying operations.
Are we collecting anybody as well?
We've got a standard poodle called Peach, which was sprayed yesterday to collect.
Shall we go inside?
Yeah, sure. Graham, I'd like to introduce you to Mike Stockman, who's our veterinary surgeon.
Hello, Mike.
Hello there.
Now, we've left the dogs with the nurse. We've also brought along a kitten with us today with a poorly eye. What's wrong with him?
Well, he's obviously, by the look of it, he's had a scratch on that eye, and as you can see, the eyelids are very inflamed. There's a lot of reddening there when you compare it with the other eye, which is just a normal pink. What we'll do with this is obviously to put some antibiotic ointment in it, and you can continue treatment yourselves, and should be right in 2 or 3 days' time.
Yeah, so no real problem there.
No, not really. I mean, it's a very common sort of condition that you very often do get in kittens. They play a bit rough, and they forget to sheathe their claws every now and again.
Are those the common problems that you get here? Is that one of the common problems?
Yes, yes. Most of the, quite obviously, all common things tend to happen very regularly. We get a lot of ear troubles, we get a great number of eye problems, skin troubles. I suppose diarrheas and vomiting are the in thing at the moment, especially with this parvovirus infection that's been about. Yes, this is the sort of thing we're treating all the time.
And what sort of different animals? Everything?
Yes, we're basically a small animal practice, which in other words we deal with large animals, large dogs down to tiny little mice. We don't deal with any horses or cattle or farm animals at all nowadays. But of course we get everything under the sun: goldfish, guinea pigs, hamsters, budgies, and we even get insects brought in every now and again.
So if anyone's got a problem then with their pets, is the first thing to do is bring it just take it to a vet?
If it's a health problem, yes, or a feeding problem. We do, of course, get quite a lot of people coming in for behavioural problems. You know, the dog that has decided to attack people, the dog that has started wandering from home, usually because he's smelt something very fascinating down the road. But mainly, of course, it should be, we're here to deal with animals that are sick, and of course also to try and prevent them from becoming sick by routine therapy, routine vaccination.
Mike, thanks very much indeed. Can we take the kitten with us?
Of course you can. There we are. We'll give you something on the way out.
Thanks very
Okay.
much.
Thanks very much, Mike.
Nice to
Bye-bye.
meet you. Cheers.
She looks very pleased to be going home, David. What's been wrong with her?
She came in to be spayed to prevent her from having any puppies. And she came in yesterday, back today.
Put her in the back.
Here we go.
Oh, so she wasn't in very long then?
No, we have to keep her for about 3 days. And then if everything's okay, she can go to a new home on Friday.
Have you found a new home for her?
We have got a new home for this one because she's been with us now for about 3 weeks.
Right, let's put the back down. We're going back to the
Yes,
centre?
straight back to the centre.
David, we're back at the centre now. What's going to happen to Peachy?
Well, we'll hand her over to Evelyn and she can go back into her kennels.
And what will you do with him after he's back in his kennel?
Well, we're going to give her a feed and a drink and settle her down.
All right, then.
Come on, Peach. Come on.
David, it's a smashing new ambulance, this. Where does the money come from to buy it?
Mostly from donations and legacies, to be honest, PCA.
And what's it used for?
We use this one basically for transporting animals backwards and forwards to the vet for operations or for treatments. But it can be used in cases of emergency, such as road accidents. And in fact, we only used it last week for a cat run over in our lane.
So you can rush them to the vets rather quickly?
Yes, we can be down there pretty quick.
And they go in comfort as well, don't they?
Yes, they do. In fact, this is new stuff which we use, and if the animal is sick or makes a mess in, we can wash it very easily.
Yeah, what's that? That's on the bottom of the cages?
Yeah, it's in each cage, separate one in each cage.
And the cages are fixed to the floor, are they?
They're all fitted in. Yeah, we had the unit specially made, and for the comfort and safety of the animals concerned. On the bottom, we've got 4 cages here. The bottom ones can be actually split into 2. So we've got either 2 large ones or 4 small ones. And the ones on the top here we use for transporting cats or very small dogs.
And can the cages be taken out?
All these are lift out, and the bottom one's just a 5 minutes job and you've got the lot out.
And there we left David to join Robbie Robinson at the Millbrook Animal Centre in South Godstone to talk to him about one of his favourite animals, retired pit ponies. Robbie, thanks very much for coming back on the programme.
Delighted, Graham.
Nice to
Delighted.
meet you again. How many ponies have you got here?
Well, we've got 5 pit ponies here at the moment in retirement, and we've got another 7 which are in the other 2 establishments you already, you're going to see anywhere.
Whereabouts do they come from?
These come from a colliery up Newcastle known as the Elrington Colliery, which is quite one of the largest in the country and one of the most modern. And it's 13 square miles of colliery, and 2/3 of that are under the North Sea. And there are 50 pit ponies there working in the mines there.
Yeah, it's a fair size. And why have they come here?
These are in retirement now because they've spent over 20 years in the mines, and people forget they live, eat and sleep down there. They're stabled in the mines, and they spend 50 weeks of the year underground, and they come up for 2 weeks of the year for their holiday.
Oh, they're still in use now, are they?
They're still in use at the moment. It's purely a matter of economics. There are over 200 at the moment, And with a pit pony, it costs probably about £100 to buy, and if to trade it, another £100. So you get a very good animal for £200. Now, if you wanted a diesel pit pony, it cost you about £180,000 and 5 men to work it, and another diesel one as well, you know, in reserve when the other one breaks down. So it's economics, really.
What do they actually do?
Well, this, in the mine in Errington, there are 83 miles of roadway, and so these pit ponies are used for the maintenance of the roadway. And they work on the shift system with the miners.
Is it hard? Is it a hard life for them?
Well, when you say it's a hard life, it's unnatural, you know, to live, you know, I'm sure you agree, for 50 weeks of the year underground, and only come up for 2 weeks of the year. They come up, of course, if there's any trouble, veterinary trouble, they would come up and have, you know, veterinary attention and go in stables there. But they are very well looked after, and I will say this, that the pit pony is better looked after than the average children's riding pony in this country.
How does it affect their sight then when they come up for those 2 weeks?
It doesn't affect them at all. The only question is you have to be very careful with the question of food. You can't put them out to grazing after being on all this years in hard foods.
And they live in nice stables, do they, down the mine?
Yes, they do. They're very good stables and they're very well looked after. And when I was down there, they have 2 cats down there which live underground with them.
All right, can we go have a look at 1 or 2 of them here?
Yeah, delighted.
Come on then. You know, you said they had a cat to keep them company down the mine. Do they have one to keep them company
Well,
here?
we've got about 5 here, so they're quite well looked after in that respect.
Luxury for them
Luxury,
here.
yeah, absolutely right.
How warm is it down the mine?
Well, they're about 21 degrees centigrade, which is very warm, actually, quite a good temperature. And this is the point, you see, when they come up in retirement, you have to be very careful, you see, because it takes months to get them accustomed to grazing. You see, they've been on hard food all the time. And the stables here are specially insulated and specially built for the pit ponies. They have the lower doors so they can look over. Yeah. And of course we have to take, you know, great care of them while they're, because I mean the average age here are about 25 to 28, as I already said.
Yeah. Now, how do you keep their teeth in tip-top condition?
Well, what happens, they have the dentists, you know, twice a year, and it's important, you see, because when they get older, these ponies, you see, they get longer and jagged, their teeth, and this means to say they can't eat the food correctly in the digestion, and this loses condition quicker than anything.
Just like
and
us
the fact
then,
is
visiting the
they
dentist.
get long in the tooth, you see. You see how big they are, and this is quite a, you know, difficult job to do.
Has it been done recently?
This has been done recently, yes, you see.
It's a vet has to do,
A vet has to do this, yes.
What does he
yes.
actually do?
He just rasps them with a big file, and they rasp them down. You see.
Just like going to the dentist?
No anaesthetic.
What do you do to keep their hooves
Well,
in
they're trimmed. They're
condition?
trimmed. An interesting point. You see, when they're in the mine, they're actually shoed in the mine, but when they're up here, they're not. And they're trimmed by a blacksmith which comes in and trims them.
Can we have a look at the hooves?
Well, this one he's got a shoe on because he's got a fault on this one. Come on, you see. This one is shoed, you see.
Oh, I see. What's wrong with that?
No, well, this one is fine. These are shoed, this one. You see, you've got a slight laminitis it had once upon a time, you see.
And what? And they're not all shoed then?
Now, they're not all shoed, no, but in the mine they are. When they're in the mine, they're all shoed, but when they're up here, they're not, you see, except if they've got anything wrong with them. This one did suffer slightly from laminitis, and the situation this one, we do shoe this one, yeah.
I've noticed new arrivals seem to have a short mane and a very short tail.
Yeah, when they're down the mine, all their mane is cut and their tail as well. And this is the point when they come up, because when they're down in the mine, there's no flies at all. They have to have very short time outside. And of course, we're going to build some field shelters for them for the summer. So the fact is that they can go in there, you know, for protection from the flies in the summer.
Are the stables very warm then? I mean, they have to be, do they?
Well, no, it's better. The question in the summer, you see, wooden stables get very hot, you see, so we've insulated them, so it's actually a bit cooler, you see. This is one of the problems,
Yeah,
you
what
see.
do you feed them on?
These have the question of bran and some pony cubes, but some of them are very much, all according to the pony, you see. This one here doesn't require very much at all.
How old is this one?
This one is about 25, you see.
And what do you do to keep him in condition? Groom him and things?
Oh, they're groomed, yes, but I mean, they go out and they get rolled over in mud, they come in covered in mud, and they're looked after very well, you see.
And about what age do they... what age do they live till here? Come
Well,
back?
I mean,
What's the oldest one?
these go on. We've got one here about nearly 30 years of age, you see. And I think in condition for this age, look at this pony now, what, 25, you see. And I think they're in better condition, as I said before, than the average children's riding pony.
You know, when they come up out of the mines into retirement, is their eyesight badly affected?
Not at all. This is a fallacy. A lot of people think because they work underground all this long period of time that they're blind. This is absolutely a fallacy. Their eyesight is absolutely, you know, perfect, near perfect.
What about diseases? Do they contract any
They don't
diseases?
actually. It was rather interesting. They don't get any respiratory diseases at all. These are an absolute... You'd never hear this cough since you've been here, but I mean, they're excellent. There's no problem at all about that.
So all in all, they're in a very healthy condition.
Very good condition, yeah.
Robbie, thank you very much indeed. That's it for this week, and I look forward to seeing you next week on Graham's That. Bye-bye.